Hey, how's it going? Okay, so today I'm wanting to talk about the classic kind of turning point aspect, which is taking responsibility for our lives, and a real truthful recognition that we are powerful creators and we are indeed creating the world that we're perceiving, or creating the world that we're living in within our own unique individuality in our own unique way. And really, this is about patterns and cycles as well. So, as long as we're still reacting to something, we're essentially still in that pattern, we're in that cycle, we're in that trench, as it were, or in that habit. And it's not good or bad. Like, all of us have different forms of patterns and forms and conditions around our habits. But again, with conscious living, or our ability to consciously create new things in our reality, that big shift must occur. So we have to take full responsibility for all of our experiences, for everything from all that we can remember, even things like past lives, if that's something you're into, like looking at all your past creations, whatever memories come through. And if that provokes a reaction on some level, or if that makes you feel something, then it's always within us as expansive divine beings to kind of look at that and ask ourselves inwardly, do I need this? Is this creation on the highest level, or is this creation that's coming from a place of love and light? And if it's not, just be really open and willing to let it go, or release it, or delete it, or uncreate it, or destory it from within your own self, so that you can go ahead and create from a more conscious, expanded, and loving way. We often see it, and I know I definitely have experienced it in my own life, where when we are unconsciously in our patterns, usually what happens on a soul level, and that's why it's totally futile to compete or compare with other people, because my world and my ability, I guess, to suffer is going to be totally different from the next person. So just because other people are in a certain job and it works for them, deep down, if I'm really suffering, then that's really bad for me, and it might not be bad for somebody else. So there's no point in comparing. It's totally about our own unique guidance system from within. So that's all about how we're feeling from one moment to the next. And usually when we're in our patterns, what happens is that we get to a point where enough is enough. Like, we just can't handle it anymore. Like a cycle of abuse, you might find yourself. So when we're unconsciously in the pattern will actually get worse and worse and worse until something within us shifts, and we sort of step up and say no more, no more. And then from that point, that's sort of an energetic shift where you're saying no to one way of being, and then that opens the door to take action in another way of being. And of course, within that, there's going to be more learning and more expansion, but there's always got to be that shift where you empower yourself and you say, I'm going to create a new way. And then the more we start recognizing our ability to create the new way, the easier and the easier it gets. And in fact, the better and better life gets as well. Because we have total, I guess, dominion over our reality. And the more we totally, totally own up to that, the more expansive our life and our abilities to create become. Because there's more clarity, the more, I guess, baggage, or the more negative energy, the more kind of sabotage energy, the more of that kind of lower frequency energy that you clear from within your own energetic bubble, or your own, unique vibration, the more expanded your true authentic vibration can become. So you just become a more powerful being of light. And I find what's really useful is so not putting any pressure on myself, not deeming behavior as right or wrong. It just is what it is, and that kind of lets me off the hook, and it lets other people off the hook as well. As in, like, literally, like, there's no right or wrong. Like, people can do whatever they want if it serves them, if it feels good for them. And obviously what happens is that we tend to then, when we totally own up to who or what we are, we then create we attract creators that are sort of vibing on the same frequency. So those people also kind of like to do the same things, and enjoy talking about the similar things, and then we all open each other's doors up. We all kind of expand together through unity consciousness, but in a kind of joyful, light-filled way. So we don't end up going in. So that's something I'm really aware of now in my new paradigm, is that everyone in my life, I'm really aware of always uplifting and kind of sharing love and light, and not going into people's stories. So some of the people, they might be working through drama, they might be working through things in their lives, and I'm really aware with my peeps that I don't get into their stories with them. I'm always like open and saying, well, like, what about looking at it like this way? Or let's remember that nobody's bad and nobody's wrong, and that if you're attracting kind of drama, then there's like something there, So always really owning up to the truth of our divinity and our light-filled nature, and the kind of how powerful we are, rather than getting entangled in people's drama and stories. And that's like close friends, clients, and to me now it's all merging into one. So I'm finding, again, just through my own expansion, I'm meeting people who I'm not quite sure why they're coming into my reality, but they're new people and I feel good around them. And so what I'm just asking is like, how can I serve? How can I be of assistance? How can I be of a loving presence in this person's life? How can I serve? How can I offer my own clarity or a light in that situation, not to try to change the person, but really from a place of upliftment. So because I know that if I'm sort of putting the intention out there that I just want to serve, awaken, uplift, and enlighten, then it's me too. Like, I'm one and the same with everybody. So if I'm putting it out there, like, how can I uplift and serve humanity, then everyone I meet, there's lessons, not just lessons, but like there's fun to be had, like I'm really aware of not just always having to clear and have lessons, and like that always it's all about like learning, and we're always kind of in a classroom in life. Actually, I just want to have fun, and I want to have abundance, and I want to feel good and love and light. And so from that place, like, how can I serve? How can I share that love and light with people, so that we can all be living from that high vibing place, so that we can all be living from that really authentic, pure, and happy place, That's what I desire authentically from within: freedom of travel, financial freedom, being in a state of relative joy and bliss all the time. Like, why not? Why not just put that intention out there, And then trusting that people come into my life are there to also help uplift humanity, and that if there's any, for whatever reason, like blocks or weird stuff, that we can together, we'll just kind of clear that, we'll let go of that, and so that we're all consciously aware of moving into higher and higher vibrations, higher and higher levels of living. And then this is that part of that bigger global movement, and transitioning into kind of creating new structures or new systems. It's all inherently within us anyway, so it's not like something to worry about. But realizing it is very much about every single human. So like every single being, we're all one. Every single being owning their own sovereignty, living in alignment with kind of universal law, but also divine law, and then flowing and serving one another, and that's kind of, I guess, for me, what that new paradigm is all about, or what the new earth is all about, is more and more people living in alignment with their divine essence, and sort of sharing and guiding and supporting one another into this new creation, this new reality for the earth herself. And then maybe some of us, if this isn't where we want to hang out for eternity, then once we finish the work here on Earth, we can float off into our back into our families of light, wherever they exist in the universe. So, that's some interesting stuff, isn't it? Like there's just so much in this life and in this world, and I think it's more and more just like, let it be fun, let it be joyous, let it be blissful, and then once you set it out there, just watch what comes in. into your reality. You know, we don't have to control what we think it's supposed to look like. Just observe it and trust that everything coming in is always for the highest good. And if it doesn't feel good, again, there's probably something to be let go of. There's probably something to release within our own energetic patterning. But then, you know, more and more we open ourselves up, the easier that stuff gets, the more clear those patterns become, and then we just keep focusing on the new. And I know for me, I'm getting really excited about the good vibes and really excited about just flow, just living in the flow, and like being myself and sharing with people. And even like all the yoga stuff's getting easier too, and it just feels really nice to share with people. Okay, cool. I hope you had a really nice day and you've enjoyed watching my vlogs, and yeah, keep loving yourself and keep expanding and taking responsibility. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste, y'all.
All to love. All to love.